Okay, great. Um, Welcome once more. Before we start, uh, any questions, any challenges based on what we've already addressed in the past? I know we've looked at we took our time and we had a good breakthrough to Python fundamentals, the history of Python, why we chose Python. We talked about variables. We talked about Python being an object-oriented language. We talked about a variable. We talked about the different data types where we talked about floats, integers. We talked about Boolean values. Uh, so far, does anyone have any doubts? Okay, awesome. In the absence of any doubt, we're just going to dive straight to what we have in store for today. And today we're going to be looking at something a little more in depth as from where we left last time. So we're going to be looking at arithmetic operations, relational operators, conditional operators, uh, conditional as decision statements, and then finally we hope we'll be able to kill all of these right down to loops, and then before we terminate it for today. So without any further ado, let us start. So let's start with the first arithmetic operator that we have here. Normally, this is just as a normal calculator, like you just can pick your phone and you open your calculator and you say 10, you that it tells you 20. This is already, so what is it you've used here? Please, let's pay attention to the operator. This is the operator that we've used, and it's the plus sign, okay? And if you go, for those of you who are using Windows, there is a key just to the left of your backspace. It has the equal sign, and if you use shift, you are going to access the plus sign. That is the key I'm talking about. That is for those that are using Windows. I don't know about Mac. Unfortunately, I'm not a Mac user, so I don't know. Maybe it's different for Mac, but this is what we have for those of us who are using Windows. If you are using a Mac computer, please, you might just want to refer on the net to see which key exactly is used for addition. So, like I said, for Windows users, is the key to the left of your backspace, and you need to use your shift key to be able to access that key, to be able to access this sign. And so when you do, you use it for your normal arithmetic operations. If you're welcome, thank you. So now, this is the first operator we've looked at, addition. It's normal. It's just you can do. You people say 1 + 1, right? 1 + 1. It's just normal arithmetic. It just sums two things. 1 + 1 is 2, right? It's nothing there. Okay, we're going to look at the next one, which is going to be the subtraction.
Yes, raw package.
So let's see what we have for that particular operator. So we, as well as we can do 10 + 10, we can also do 10 - 10. Okay, now for the minus operator, if it is the same, the sign just next to the additional operator or to the plus operator, but this time around you don't need the shift key to access it, because if you look at that key, there are two signs there that look almost the same. Bear you in mind, the one up that you need shift to access is the underscore, but the one we are going to be using as minus is the one below, which you don't need the shift button to access it. So you just press that button directly and it's going to be your minus sign. And so just like we know, 10 - 10 should be 0. If you have 10 - 5, maybe for example, it's going to be 5. And we already know these are basics. Now let's look at the next one, which is going to be the multiplication sign. So the multiplication operator, just like you can say 2 × 2, for example, 2 × 2, and then you're going to hit enter and you get the result. So now, where is this key? This key is, for those of you who are using Windows again, it is on the keyboard that carries number 8. Number 8. If your keyboard is QWERTY, please, I'm using an English keyboard. I have to be specific about that one too. I am using an English keyboard, and this operator here is on number 8. I need the shift key to be able to access it. Take note, any sign that is up, when you look at the keyboard, the way they have been arranged, right? There's always something down, there's another thing up. Anytime you want to use the thing that is up, you need to use shift. You need to hold down shift before you hit that key to access it. So if I say it's on number 8, that means you need shift to be able to access it. So please bear that in mind. Please give me a minute. Okay, I'm back here. So we've looked at 3 signs already: plus, minus, multiplication. And let's see, which one again do we have? No, not this one. Let's look at the division. Let's look at the division sign, okay? So the division sign is just going to be like 4 divided by 2, divided by 2, and then you're going to hit enter, and then it says it's 2.0. Now, the division sign, if you know what we call the question mark sign, the division sign is on the same key. For those who are using Windows, I say this again. It is on the same key where you have the question mark sign on your keyboard. It is to the left, depending on your keyboard too. If you're using a bigger keyboard like mine, which has the number pad, it is to the left of the right shift key, just above your arrow keys. So you have the question mark sign there with a sign beneath it on that same key. That is the division sign, and that is the division operator. So we use that to divide numbers. I'm going to hold off here since we are done with this. Oh, there's a last but not the least one. This one is called the remainder operator. This is called the remainder operator. I know you know it as percentage, but this is the remainder operator. This is how it functions. If I say, for example, if I take 5 divided by 2, for example, if I take 5 divided by 2, I'm going to do 5 divided by 2. Instead of doing divided by, I'm going to use that key, and then I do 2. And then when I hit enter, it's going to say 1. This means when 5 is divided by 2, it leaves a remainder of 1. Please take note. It is called modulus. 5, this execution number 7 means that 5 divided by 2 leaves a remainder of 1. We're going to use this when we are writing logics. I expect you to understand once I do that. You don't have to get lost. It is not your normal percentage that you know, like 100%, 50. No. Here, in this line of code, it means remainder in the sense of division, meaning if I do 40 divided by 10, I know the answer is 0 because 40 divided by 10 should leave a remainder of 0, right? And so if I do that, it leaves a remainder of 0. So this is what this sign here means. It is not your usual percentage that you know. Any questions, any doubts before I go ahead? Please, the floor is open and I have.
Boris, good evening.
Okay. Good evening. Wait, please, let me pull up the dialog box so that I'll know who I'm talking to. Okay, please go ahead. I think it's
Yes.
Kifa.
Yes, that's Kifa.
Okay, thank you. How are you, Dr. Kifa?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following, but I have a little issue. I'm trying to input the figures and the sign on my notebook, but I'm getting this feedback: cell not executed due to pending input. I don't know what the challenge can be.
Okay, so for that reason, we are just going to say, are you on your computer, please?
Yes, I am.
Are you attending the class from your computer? That's my question.
No.
Oh, that's
Oh
where we
my.
have a challenge. So where are you attending the class from? Your phone?
Yes.
I'm practicing on your computer.
Yes.
I don't know. Is Toby on the call? Oh, Toby is not on the call. You know what is going to happen? Because I would have expected you to share your screen and then we troubleshoot it and fix it once and for all. But since you're not using your computer for the class, you cannot share your screen. You understand?
Yes.
So the only thing that is going to happen is that after the class, you're going to pin Toby, or you can pin myself or Toby on the back after the class and then share your screen and we're going to troubleshoot that. Or if along the class, if you're able to join the class from your computer, that's good and fine. We can troubleshoot it. Is that okay?
Okay, all right.
Because as of now, I cannot know what you are going through if I can't see your screen. Is that
Okay,
clear?
I will try. Yeah, I'll try to connect to my computer.
So please,
Yeah.
once you are able to join from your screen of your computer, you can always share your screen and we look at it together and we can troubleshoot. Is that clear?
Okay, all right. All right.
Awesome. Any other worries or any other challenge?
Yes, good evening once more. This is Aqua Constance. I
This man,
made
the
a,
way you are just quiet, I'm
I made
wondering if you just want to keep the question for next week.
Oh, I have a comment all after. I will just silent. Good
I
evening.
made an observation.
Thank God.
I discovered that
Okay.
when we do when we do addition,
Yeah.
subtraction, and multiplication, we have whole numbers like 2, like 0, like 5. When we came to division, it gave us a decimal like 2.0. So my question is, can we remove those decimal, can we remove the decimal place, or is it imperative that when we are doing division, it must come with decimals?
That was a sweet observation. I love that. Thank you for that observation. I deliberately skipped that without making a comment. That's awesome. Okay, now you're going to notice something, okay? The reason why we studied the different data types is because, like you will notice as we go ahead, operations in Python are specific to particular data types. You understand? Like once we go ahead, we look at all data types, we look at list, strings, all these things. You'll notice that there are certain things you cannot do with certain data types.
Okay.
And there are certain results you get just from with specific data types. And that's just one good example that you've shown. Once you do a division in Python, your result will always be a float. Is that clear? And if you
Yes.
want an integer as your result, you have to explicitly change that result to an integer. We are going to look at typecasting. I think in the coming classes, we're going to see how to change from one data type to the next. But from the observation that Madame Aqua Constance has made, it is clear that once you do a division operation, your result will be a float. Is that clear?
It is. Thank you.
Awesome. Desmond, you were about to say something. Yes, best man, there is a...
Good evening.
Yeah.
Just to add, I think we could consider the ground division. The ground division is the double slash. So if we use the ground division for 5 divided by 2 is going to give us 2, not 2.5. So there's a ground division too in as an operator. That's a double slash. It's very good and it's
Awesome.
used in indexing.
Awesome.
That's
So what best man is saying is that instead of running the modulo to get a remainder, you could actually get the real answer. Like for example, 5 divided by 2, you could actually get what is the result of 5 divided by 2 and not the remainder. We say 5 divided by 2. Here we are getting the remainder. But then you might want to ask me, what then is the result of 5 divided by 2? Why am I returning the remainder, right? So what he's saying is that you're going to do 5 and then you use a double slash and you do 2 and you're going to get 2. So the answer is 2 remainder 1. And so this one will give you the remainder and this one will give you the whole number. You might also implement this in your logics as we move ahead. Thanks for that input, best man. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
I hope that is clear.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other worries? Any other worries or any other inputs?
Please, the double slash, you tap slash 2 times or there is a key for
Yes,
double
you
slash?
just hit the same key twice.
Okay.
Okay, so we can effectively move ahead, right? Okay, awesome. Let's look at the next things. So we are done with this. We've looked at that. So let's look at relational operators. Let's look at relational operators, relation. Okay, now the first one we're going to be looking at is less than. Now, take note, like I told you, Madam Constance, you might want to pay close attention here and begin to see how these things actually work. Now, because I said when you do operations, you're going to get different data types as a result. When we did an addition, subtraction, like she clearly observed, we got integers. But when we did a division, we got float. Now let's look at another operator, which is the less than operator. So if I'm going to say 5 is less than 6, look at the data type I'm going to get. What is this? We discussed this in our last class.
Boolean.
Somebody said that's a Boolean value. Is that clear? So you discover that
Boolean from our last class.
Yes, exactly. So you discover that once depending on the type of operation you've done, you get different data types coming as your result. So somebody is saying something, a Boolean, awesome. Some people are just giving me the feedback from the
I
chat.
said Boolean.
Awesome. That's great. And so now we can also say 6 is less than 5, and it's going to tell us, look at what it's going to say. It says false. And this, I told you, there are just 2 Boolean values, true or false. And depending on the operator, we're going to get different results. So we've looked at arithmetic operators. Now we are looking at what we call relational operators. So we looked at the less than, we can look at the greater than sign, and in the same line, we can say 6 is greater than 5. 6 is greater than 5, and we are going to, oh, I didn't show you these different signs. How do I, so back to those who are using Windows. You know the keyboard where you have comma? The keyboard where you have comma, the sign above that comma is the less than sign. And then the keyboard where you have full stop, the full stop, that is just above your space bar, up slightly to the right of your space bar, up just above alternate and control. The keyboard where you have full stop is the one that you have greater than. So in case you're doubting which one is which, you can always pay attention to this. So once we say 5 is greater than 6 is greater than 5, we get true as our output. And if we say 5 is greater than 6, obviously we know that's a lie. So we're going to get a false, just as expected. So let's look at another operator. The next operator we're going to be looking at is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. These are all, they're similar. So if I say 5 is less than or equal to, in this case now, I have to explicitly type less than and type equal to. Equal to is the key just to the left of your backspace. For Windows users, I keep laying that emphasis so that you don't go and quote me somewhere that I said that when because you're using a MacBook. No, I am not a Mac user, please. For Windows. And so when you see 5 is less than or equals to 6, what we are saying is that if 5 is less than 6 or 5 is equals to 6, then we're going to return a true. Right? If I say 5 is less than or equals to 5, I'm going to get a true. If I say 6 is less than or equals to 5, sorry, I'm going to get a false. I hope you get that clearly. And vice versa, we can do the same thing for greater than. So if I'm going to say 5 is greater than or equals to 6, I'm expecting to get a false. And so if I say 5 is greater than or equals to 4, for example, I'm going to get a true. If I say 5 is greater than or equals to 5, I'm going to get a true. So like I said, the operator is greater than or equals to, it is all of these. You cannot type 1. If you type 1, you are now on your own. So they have to all be together for it to be evaluated as greater than or equal to or less than or equals to. So they have to be together. You can't do one and leave the other one. And like I said, it will return Boolean values. That is already clear. And we are going to see all of these once we start writing logic. We start looking at if statements and things like that. You begin to see how these things are being resolved. So the next thing we are going to be looking at, oh, I like this one, is the equality sign. Now, you know, I know that we know yesterday we were creating, before we, in our last class, I said, if I say A is equals to 10, and then I normally say it equals to 10, but this equality sign here does not mean the equal to that you and I know. Okay, when I say equal to, I know the sign, the equality, equal to meaning of the same capacity or of the same strength or of the same magnitude or something. It is not, this is not that equal to, this one is not that one. I will repeat, this is not the equal to that we normally know that equal to. This thing is not this one that we know. Please, it is not. It is not equals to that thing. Please don't. It is not equals to this one like this. It's not. So the re equal to. If you want to say equal to the re one, this is what you do. If you want to do an expression of equality in Python, for example, if I want to say 5 is equals to 5, I'm going to do 5. I'm going to type this twice. It must be twice. If I say 5 is equals to 5, then I can execute this. And it's going to say true because 5 is equals to 5. But if you use 1, my people, you are on your own. If you want to evaluate for equality, I'll repeat that you use the equal. You use the equal to sign twice, like you use this sign 2 times. This is when it will now mean equality. But if you use it once, it is not equality.
One is also operator assignment. The
Yes.
assignment operator.
That is what we are going to look at next. Now, when you see like somebody, I think that's best man given on the background. When you use 1, you are actually assigning. You are not evaluating for equality. If I say A, if I say 5 is equals to 5, this does not mean anything in Python. You see, I got a syntax error because Python does not understand this thing that I've written here. So once I do this is an assignment operator. I am assigning A to the object 5. It is not an evaluation of equality. This is not an evaluation of equality. This is an assignment. And 5, and then you use shift. You go your number one, yeah, like number 1 on your keyboard. You take that exclamation mark there, and then you use equals to, and then you do 5. And this is going to be, this is not equal to, I am saying 5 is not equal to 5, and that's why I get a false, because actually 5 is equals to 5. And so if I say 5 is not equals to 6, I am expecting to get a true. My people, please confirm that this is clear.
Please, it's not clear.
Which one is not clear?
5 is not equal to 6. The sign before the equal to sign, I can't really figure it out.
Which type of computer are you using? Are you on a Windows computer?
Yes, Windows computer.
Please, number 1 on your keyboard, number 1, the number 1. Look at the number 1. You will see on top of the number 1, there is one sign there, a stroke and a dot beneath. Beneath is called an exclamation mark.
Okay,
Please,
I
can you
get
confirm that you have seen that?
Yes, I
that
get
is
it.
the sign I've used to evaluate for not equal to. Together with the equal sign, you cannot type it alone.
Okay. Thank you.
It must be like this. It must be like this. It must be together for it to evaluate as not equal to. Is that clear?
Yes, it is clear.
Awesome. Any other worries? Please, if you make a mistake with any of these, you are going to just get into trouble when you're writing logics. You will have to keep using this. And when I'm using it, I'm not going to be telling you that, oh, this is not what we're evaluating, because you already know. And you should know the output of each of them, whether it's going to give you a Boolean, it's going to give you is going to give you a float value, an integer, or what, like we have all observed. Okay. Everyone is quiet. There's one of There's somebody that I am not hearing his voice. Am I lost somewhere? Madam Prudence, how is it going?
Yes, I'm getting you. It's clear.
It's all clear?
It's
There is
okay.
another person. Madam Vandolin, are you there? Vandolin. I guess she is not there. Let me see. What am I missing out? There is a B Suripel. This is if I pronounce your name wrongly. Don't destroy the pronunciation and accept it. Yes, mom, is it clear? Is everything okay?
Yes, everything is okay.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so we can conveniently move ahead now. Okay, now we're done with these. We've looked at addition, operation. Okay, now let's look at these ones are called conditional operators. Conditional operators. Now, there's something I'm going to do here to make this one very easy. We're going to come up with a table, okay? I want somebody to talk to. Let me pick somebody. Madam Constance, please, can we have a conversation? Please come. If you can unmute
Okay.
yourself. Awesome. We want to develop a table, okay?
Okay.
Are you getting me?
I'm getting you.
Okay, okay. So these are conditions. We want to look at conditions. And so the first thing we are going to be looking at, the first operator we are going to be looking at here is AND. So I'm going to write it here. So we're going to come up with the table. Okay, now we are going to be making statements, okay? 2 statements. Are you getting me?
I'm getting you.
Yeah. And so we are going to be making 2 statements, and then we are going to be getting an output from the 2 statements. So this is statement 1, so I'm going to do that as S1. And then this is statement 2, I'm going to do that as S2. And then this is the output. I'm just going to use O as, or maybe OP as the output or the result. So now let's look at it this way. I am going to be saying something. So I'm going to be assuming my first statement returns true. I'll just use T. And my second statement returns true. And then I'll see what the output is with the AND operator. The second statement is going to be false. The first statement is going to be false. My second statement is going to be true. And then I'll see what the output is. My third statement is going to be true. And first statement is going to be true. Second statement is going to be false. And I'm going to see what my output is. And then both statements are going to be false, right? And then I see what my output is going to be. So let's go ahead and develop now. Let's go ahead and see how we can construct this table. Are you still with me, Madam Constance?
I am with you.
So let's have statement 1. Let's say statement 1. Our statement 1 is let's say 5 is greater than, let me use variables, okay? Let me use variables. So I'm going to say A is equals to 5. Is that clear?
Yes.
And then so I'm assigning A to 5. We already know that, we discussed that, right? I'm going to say B is equals to 6. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
I've created 2 independent variables, A and B. They have different objects, right? So I'm going to
Yeah.
execute this cell. Now, I'm going to be making 2 statements. So I'm going to say my first statement is going to, so statement 1, my first statement is going to be A is greater than B. Oh, let me do true. So let me do true. So I'm going to do A is less than
Less
B,
than.
right? So if I
Yes,
execute
true.
this, is this statement true?
Yes, it is true.
Do you see that this statement is true, right? Okay, that means
Yes.
this is ticked. Statement 1 is ticked. So I'm going to
Yeah.
do statement 2. let me do statement 2. So this is statement 2. And for statement 2, I'm going to be saying that I'm going to be saying B is greater than, let me write it clearly so that you can see B is greater than A. And this is definitely going to be true, right?
It's true, yes.
Okay, good. Now, I want to use the AND operator to combine statement 1 and statement 2. And then I see my output, whether it's going to be true or false.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So what am I
Yes.
going to do? I'm going to say A. Are you seeing me? I'm saying A is
Yes.
less than B. That is statement 1, right?
Yes.
And then I'm going to use the AND operator. And I'm going to do my statement 2, which is going to be B.
B
Sorry. Which is going to be B.
is
B is
greater
greater
than
than A.
A.
Now, these are two statements, 1 and 2, and I've merged them using the AND operator. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I'm going to
Understood.
execute this, and you see that the output is what? True.
The output is true.
Okay, so we can conveniently say that for the AND operator, if the first statement is true and the second statement is true, the output is going to be true. Is that correct?
True. Correct.
Okay, now let's see. Let's evaluate the second condition, which is false true. So we are going to explicitly make statement 1 false. So if we want to make statement 1 false, what we are going to do is that we're just going to do
A is
A less
greater than.
than. So we can change
A
this,
is
and
greater
then we know that
than.
this is going to be false, right? And so now we've changed statement 1. So now let's use it now with a statement 2. So, and then I'm going to use an AND operator, and then I'm going to be using this statement 2, which is correct. We already know that this statement 2 is correct, right?
Yes.
So let me execute it and let's see the output. It says false.
It's false.
So we can we conveniently say that if one statement is false with the AND operator, then the result is going to be false?
Yes. Correct.
Let's look at let's look at another scenario. Excuse me. The next scenario is a scenario whereby the first statement is true and the second statement is false, right? So let's see. First statement true, so I'm going to say A is less than B. That's true, right?
It's true.
And now B is less than A.
It's less than A.
Oh. So now B less than A, that is false. So I'm evaluating for this, right? So I'm going to evaluate
Yes.
that, and I'm going to see my result is what? False, right?
False.
Again, it confirms the fact that if any of my statements is false, I end up with what?
With
A
false.
Okay. Now, last but not the least, we want a case where both of them are false. So I'm going to say A greater than B and B less than A. These are all false. Is that true?
It's true. All of
So
them
I'm
are
going to execute
false.
that. And I'm going to get what?
False.
Okay, good. So I'm going to get false. So this table, I know some people call it truth table. I don't know how that is, but in some sense they say so. Now, this table, this is for the AND operator. I repeat, this table is for the AND operator. See, we have been using the AND operator all through. And so the take-home message here is that when you are evaluating two conditions, remember the operators we are working with are called conditional operators, conditional. You understand? And so if you are evaluating two conditions using the AND operator, if any of those statements is false, the output will be false. You only get true when both statements
Are
are
true.
true.
Okay.
Can you confirm that this is clear?
It is clear.
Awesome. So you only get true when both statements are true. It doesn't matter how many statements you have. If you have 10 statements, if there is one false there, the whole output is going to be false if you are using the AND operator.
Okay.
And if you are using noun, and if you have both statements being true, then you're going to get it true. Okay, now this is it for the AND operator, and then I'm going to just go ahead and transcribe this. Most of the times you see this written like this. Is it okay? Most of the times you see this like this. Let me just do it. Since computers understand zeros and ones, you see statement 1, statement 2, and then maybe the output. And so statement 1 is always true, is always written as 1. True is always going to be 1, and then true is going to be 1. And then false is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, and you are going to have 0, 0, 0. Is it
Okay.
okay?
Yes, it
This is
is.
for AND. And so what we are saying is that anytime you see 1, 1 means true and 0 means false, okay? In terms of conditional operators. Is that clear?
Okay.
I mean,
It's
that's
clear.
computer language. So is it okay if I go ahead and wipe this one?
It is.
So we are done with this guy. We are done with this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all of these, and then we look at the next guy. Now, this was it for the AND operator. And so let's look at the OR operator now. So now let's look at the OR operator. This is going to be OR, right? Here. So, Madam Constance, I'm still going to do the same thing again.
Okay.
We're still going to follow the same steps. So I'm still going to have two statements, just two statements. So I'm going to have the first statement, 1, statement 2, and this is going to be the OP, which is the output. And so statement 1, I'm going to do the same thing, true, true. I'm not going to put the output, okay? True, false, false, true, and
Your
false,
pencil is not coming out.
false. Is that okay?
Your pencil is not coming out.
Is that okay?
Your table is blank. Hello. It's like we lost him. Let's just give him some time.
Sorry, my network told me I should take a rest. So
Ashia.
I was happily taking a rest, and now I have to come back and draw this thing again. So let me draw another one again. So here we're now talking about it all. Okay. So I'm going to draw another table again. This is the pin of repetition. So statement 1, statement 2, output. And then I'm gonna have true, 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 false. I'm gonna have false, that is false, true, and then false, false, here. So let's go ahead and see. Now, we are still going to stick to these our statements, okay? Now, let's look at, since in this first case, right? Was our AND case where both statements are true, right? Both statements were true here, A greater than B, and so I'm going to copy this statement, and instead of using the AND operator, I'm just going to use the OR operator. So I'm just going to paste it here. Anyone wants to give me BP? And, what's wrong with you? Gosh, I have to draw this thing again. You're making me stress for nothing.
Sure.
So I'm gonna ask statement one. Remember, this is all, okay? Statement two. I've changed the network, so I hope it doesn't do that nonsense again. So true, true. This is gonna be true, false. This is gonna be false, true, and this is gonna be false, false. Okay. Okay, now, so now that we have drawn our table again, now this is the first condition. Now, true, true. But this time around, we are not going to be using the AND operator. We're going to be using the OR operator, okay? We're going to be using the OR operator. So now, first statement is true, and second statement is true, and I'm going to evaluate that. What is the output?
True. True.
So we got that. So we're going to go up again. This is a situation whereby our first statement was false, and our second statement was true. So
Yeah.
that should be first statement false, second statement true. This should be this case. So I'm going to paste it here. And that is going to be
Or
oh. So the first statement is false and the second statement is true. Is that clear? So I'm going to run this and it says what? True. So I'm going to
true.
count. First statement false, second statement true, true. So I need the situation now where first statement is true, second statement is false. This is that situation. So I'm going to run that here. And then I'm going to run that. And what do I get? Oh, which one is this?
You have not changed the operator,
Oh,
the operator.
thank you very much. Okay, that's true. So I get another true here. I'm getting a lot of truths. And last but not the least, the case where both statements are false, right? So I'm going to get oh here. Okay, now. And then I get false. Okay. So when both statements are false, I get false. Okay. Wait. This handwriting is not funny. And I was just lazy to connect to the tablet that I can use to write. Okay, awesome. Now, what is the take-home message looking at this, Madam Constance? Notice that once it is for the OR operator, you only get false when both statements are false.
Of course, yeah.
Do you understand? And unlike the AND operator where you only get true when both statements were true, for the AND operator, you only get false when both statements are, for the OR operator, you only get false when both statements are false. If any of the statements is true, your output will be true.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, well understood.
And so we're gonna translate these to something like this. S1, S2, OP, and we're gonna get no, not 0, please. 1. We're gonna get 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1,
0, 1, 1,
0,
0,
0.
0, 0.
Is that clear?
Yes.
This is for the OR operator, right?
Yes.
And then there is this other one which it says not. It's just a negation. We're just going to look at one example that we negate. And so if you negate true, what are you going to get?
False.
So maybe if I say, can I say not? I think I just think not just go direct. Not true. I should get false, right?
Yes.
So if I negate true, I get false. So if I get
Yes.
not, sorry, I keep typing it's not false, I get what?
True.
Yeah, that's a negation. That's the other operator. It's just a negation. We call it a negation. You just negate what you said. This one.
Okay.
Are we comfortable with and, or, and not? Please, any input, any comments, any questions, any doubts, any worries? Let's take the next 1 minute, address that before we move ahead. The floor is open.
I have a doubt.
Okay, who is, wait, let me see who is talking. That is Madame Prudence. Or who is that?
No,
Madame Vandoline. Okay, Madame Vandoline.
Vandolin.
Okay. What is your doubt, Madame Vandoline? Please go ahead.
I wanted to ask if this applies only for two statements. Can it be S1, S2, S3? Or
It
it
can
can
be up
only
to
be S1 and
S100.
S2?
It can be up to S1 million.
Oh,
As long as, but the
okay.
condition is going to hold true.
Thank you.
If any of the statements is false, and you are joining all those statements using an AND operator, if you are joining all those numerous statements using an AND operator, and any of them evaluates to false, your final output is going to be false.
Okay.
Is it clear? And if you are
Yeah.
joining those statements, if you're evaluating those statements using an OR operator, and any of those statements is true out of the 1 million, if only one is true, the whole thing is going to evaluate to true.
Okay.
So the conditions
I
maintain.
got it.
Yeah, so the rule stays regardless the number of conditions you do have. We were just making it simple here with just two conditions. Is that okay? I think I can try a case of 3 conditions. Can I do that? So I can just, where is that place that I created A and B now? Okay, yeah. So let's just do 3 because now I was only talking about 2 now so that I make sure I clear your doubt. So I can add a third variable called C, and C can be 7, right? And so I can say, I can have 3 conditions. Let me use and I'm going to say A is less than B and, and B is less than C, right? And B is less than C, and C is less than A. Oh, now. So look at what is going to happen once. Now, this is true, but this is false. So the moment I evaluate this, everything results to false. It doesn't matter whether 10 of them were true. Once I'm using and, if any of the statements is false, any one, everything is going to result to false. And that applies to if I were going to change all of these to or, if I were going to change these to or and or here, right? And just run this is going to give me a true since 1 or 2 of the statements are already true. Does that make more sense to you now? So it doesn't matter how many conditions you are evaluating, but just know that the rule stays. Okay. Any other worries, any other questions, any other doubts before I go ahead? Okay, nobody's saying anything. Madam Constance, are you still there?
Can I share?
Yes, I'm there.
I feel like someone wanted to say something.
No,
Kiffer,
it's on that.
Yes.
do you have a worry?
I don't know.
Yeah, about the issue I raised, I'm connected with my machine now. I don't know if I can share my screen.
Is that best man talking? Or who is that?
No, it's Kifa.
Okay, what are you saying, Kiffer?
Yeah, about the issue I raised, I'm now connected to my laptop. I don't know if you can.
Okay, you're now connected with your laptop. Okay, I'm going to enable multi-participant screen sharing. Okay, it's even enabled, and then I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Please go ahead and share your screen. You can share your screen. I think multi-participant screen sharing has been enabled. So you can share your screen.
Yes, let me share.
We are still waiting. If you check on your, if you hover your mouse on your screen, there is a green arrow down that says share. Hit on that arrow, and then it's going to pop up a window with multiple screens there. You just can select the first one on the top that says entire screen. And after you hit that, you look down on the bottom, you're going to see a blue small square that says share. Gotcha.
Invisible now.
I think it's coming. I'm getting an indication on my end, but I've not yet sent the screen. So I'm still hoping it gets to me as soon as possible. I
Yeah,
got you. I think I can see that. So can you please go ahead and execute that cell?
is it visible now?
Yes, I can see it now. Can you go ahead and execute that cell, please?
Okay. For example, let's take
Just type 10 plus 10.
here, and then I take Shift Enter.
Uh-huh.
This is the result I get.
Cell not executed due to pending input. The cell has not been executed to avoid kernel deadlock, as there is another pending input. Submit your pending input and try again. Okay, take okay. Can you close that workbook completely? Close that workbook completely. There is that X over there. Can you just hit it? This one where you have demo. There is the X where you have a demo 1. Can you just hit that X? Not that one, please. Which browser are you even using? You're using Edge. Not that, please. Can you go back to your Edge browser, the browser you're using with I told you guys to make Chrome your default browser. This Jupyter Notebook always has some issues with different browsers. Please, can you select your Edge browser? Can you please give me access to your screen? Let me, can I request control? I'm requesting to control your screen. I'm requesting to control your screen, Kifa. Can you say yes? Let me know if you have confirmed that. Did I lost him, or I am the one who is lost? Can any other person hear me? Bestman, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, but I can't hear Kifa say anything. I don't know if he is still there. Kifa, we cannot hear you, and I don't know if I have.
Yes, I can hear you.
I don't know if I have the ability to control your screen. I don't, and I've requested to control your screen. Okay, we're
I hear you,
gonna,
Dr. Boris.
we can't hear him, so we're gonna just go ahead. Is that clear?
Yes. I was going to ask a question, or I don't know. Mention
Yeah,
this
please.
gate, additional gate, the XOR gate, logic gate that has to do with giving two conditions, coming up with an odd output. It's a bit a combination of the and the OR gate, and sometimes it features in Python
Now,
projects.
though, yeah, I get what you're saying. If you want to combine the AND and the OR gate, it's always going to be a sequential evaluation. What do I mean by it's going to be a sequential evaluation? Let's look at a condition where we're going to do a sequential evaluation. So I'm going to evaluate these statements here, but then I'm going to use both AND and OR gate. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Now, something is going to happen now.
Which one?
I'm going to evaluate. Pardon?
Thing is working, but it's to touch you. I don't. You have to touch it. You connect it on it.
Yes, man, are you still talking to me, or you're talking to someone else?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Please, your screen. Prof, your screen is not you are not sharing your screen. I'm seeing but Anaconda Navigator.
I'm not sharing my screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
No.
And then they are telling me that I'm presenting. Oh, this other guy, oh, he has to stop presenting. What can I do? Stop participant from sharing. I've stopped him. I hope I've stopped this guy from sharing. Okay, now I can go ahead and share my screen. I thought when I took share, it overrode what he was having. Can you now see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So now, based on what Kifa was saying, right? Was it Kifa? Sorry, not Kifa. Best man. He was saying we could a situation where we're having both an and or. Okay, now I'm gonna evaluate both of them, but I'm gonna wrap this first one in brackets, okay? Because for some reason, and then I'm gonna do an operator here. Okay. So now, this is I told him it was gonna evaluate sequentially. Now, what is gonna happen is what Python is gonna do is Python is gonna first of all evaluate this first statement and then takes the output from this statement and then okay, for example, if the output of this statement is true and the output of this statement is true, then our end product is going to be true. But if the output of this statement is false and the output of this statement is true, and then since we are using an and here, then everything. So let's see. It says false. Why is it saying false? Now, it's saying false because this evaluation is true. Right?
Yes.
But this evaluation is false. And remember for the AND operator, if there's true, false, then it's false. You understand? If I were
Understood.
going to do this here, sorry. Yeah, we're going to do and here, and then I do or here. Now, this statement is going to be true, and this statement is going to be true. So all of this is going to evaluate to true. Then it's going to now take that one, that output now, and evaluate it to this one. And since this is going to evaluate to true, and this is going to evaluate to false, then we're going to get something else. We're going to get true, right? I hope it's clear.
This
Is it clear? So it's going to do it serial, it's going to do it sequentially, it's going to follow the order of which the conditions have been presented. And it's going to take the output from one condition, and then after it resolves that output, then it's going to use that output to resolve the next one. Best man, are you there? Sorry, something is
Yes, yes, please. I'm with you.
does this add to the point you were making?
Yes, it does. It does, and I don't know if it's actually covers all the possible scenarios for XOR, where you have to combine and or in the tuple operation, then you now have to compare them with an OR operator. So like XOR is in XOR. Well, it's clear. I get it that it's sequenced, it's sequential, and I get it. Thank you very much, sir.
Got you. Well, we're going to be using this a whole lot as we go ahead. So maybe we can come across a certain situation whereby we might want to use multiple, or we want to go write a logic in a particular way. You know, we're going to be seeing this a whole lot as we go ahead. Is that clear? So never mind. We are just laying the groundwork. Here, we just show you the core principles, and things can always change as you go ahead. And you can always get some additional things that come into place. Here, we cannot actually touch everything, but I will make sure we touch the very basics that will give you the groundwork. And so as we go ahead, we might even see that when we are implementing something, it's something maybe we didn't teach. And then we may be like, oh, this time when we got here, we were supposed to do this. And then, okay, now I'm bringing it here because you might want to implement it. So as we go ahead, we're going to be seeing new things and new examples and some of these things popping up along the way. And so best man, you stay alert. And if we come across some of these examples, please do well to let us know that this is where we were and what we were supposed to follow up. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. I think we did mention the not negation
Yes, yes. We mentioned the not, right? We did mention the not negation. Did I say that? Right, I did that, right?
Yes, we have looked at that. Not
We looked at
true,
this one, which is a
false,
negation
and not
and
false, true.
of true or false, right?
Yes.
We did talk about this one. So okay.
Okay. I missed that. Thank you.
Okay, now that we done. Do I have Madame Constance still there?
Yes, I am there.
Okay, so we're gonna do something. Okay, we're gonna let's tell a story. Okay, let's tell a story. We still have some more time. We have about okay, we still have some 40 something minutes, so we can actually cover this. Okay, let's tell a story. Okay, do you always send somebody?
Yes.
So tell me something that you want to send somebody to buy something. Just tell me anything. Anything. Let's build a story from that.
And send somebody to get you airtime, for example.
Okay, somebody to get you airtime, right?
Yes.
I hope everyone on the call is from Cameroon. I'm just afraid if somebody's not from Cameroon, the example I'm going to use, they might get confused. Okay, let's talk about the ball. Just assume you want to
Let's
send
pick
somebody
something
to buy
different.
you a ball. A ball.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, now. So you're going to send your son or your daughter to get you a ball, okay? Are you with
Yes.
me? And so you're going to be
I
very
am.
clear about your instructions. You understand?
Yes.
Are you getting me? And so you're going to
I'm
be
getting you.
you are going to be very clear about an instruction. So the first instruction is the first one is go buy a ball. No, go buy balls or a ball. Let's just say go buy a ball, okay? Are you getting me?
Yes.
That's the first instruction you gave to the child. And then now there are going to be follow-up statements to this one. Now, the second statement that is going to follow up is if let me write it clearly so that because we're going to build up from there. So you're going to tell the child that if the price, I'm going to put price is less than 500, the child should buy 2 balls. Buy 2 balls. You understand?
Yes.
And then we're going to go to the third statement and say, if the color is brown. No, we're not saying, oh, no, we're going to give, we're going to not say buy 2 balls. I'm going to stick it to just buy. Okay, now when you send the child to buy the ball, right, you're going to see there are going to be conditions attached to whether the child should buy the ball or not. You understand? And so you're going to tell the child that so you're going to say if the ball cost less than 500, let's just less than 500, right? And then buy. You understand?
Yes.
And if the color is brown, you understand? Buy.
Yes.
You understand? And then we're gonna say if any of these do not occur, don't buy. Else, don't buy. So you're gonna buy the ball if the ball costs 500, less than 500, or the color of the
it
ball
is
is
brown in
brown.
color.
Yes. That's if it costs less than 500 or the color of the ball is brown.
Please,
It
I
can be
wish
brown
to
and
ask
then
a
it costs
question.
1,000. It can be brown and it costs 1,000. Still buy if it is brown.
Okay. Clear.
But
It's clear now.
if it is less than 500 and it's any other color, buy. If it is greater than 500 and the color is brown, still buy.
Bye.
But if any of these do not fall in place, if it is green and is 600, don't buy. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's go and we convert this to code and see how it's gonna work. You understand? So I'm just gonna scroll down gradually, and then we're gonna do we're gonna do those two things. I'm going to introduce something. I don't know, should I introduce it here? We're gonna use it a whole lot. If I do it without showing you typecasting, it's gonna bring us a problem. So I will just call them. Let me just create a variables, okay? Because I've not shown you typecasting, it might bring a small issue. It might confuse you. But so we are just gonna see. We are gonna say ball price. Ball. Oh no, there's no supposed to be ball underscore price, okay? Ball price, okay? So you know what? I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something, but you understand the logic, but I'll tell you which part of the code you should pay attention to. There's a part that I'll tell you not to pay attention to because we are going to we're gonna do that ahead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say ball price. Okay, let me just do that. Yes, let me do that because it's gonna make a lot of sense. Ball price is equal to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use there's a function in Python called input. It asks for a user from it asks from a response from a user. So I'm gonna ask what is the price. Please don't pay attention to this one. But just know that I'm creating a variable that is going to hold the result from here. What is the price? The price of the ball. Okay, and so I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to, since the input functions always returns a string, I'm going to convert this to an integer. And then this is, so it's going to hold it. So this is going to be the price of our ball. And then I'm going to say ball color, okay? Are you with me?
Okay.
Ball
Yes, I
color
am.
is equals to, and I'm just going to use the input function, and this is going to be a string, and I'm good with that. And I'm going to just ask what is the color of the ball? Oh, so okay, awesome. Awesome. Now we're here. Okay, now we have asked so the child has gone to the market, right? And
Yes.
asked the seller, what is the price of your ball? The seller is going to give the child the price of the ball. And then it's going to ask, what is the color of the ball? Right? And
Yes.
he or she is going to get the color of the ball. Now, we want to evaluate whether the child is going to buy the ball or not based on the condition, or based on the responses from the seller and based on the conditions that you give the child. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
So this is how we're going to do it. This is how it's going to be doing. So we're going to say if this is the first thing we are addressing here. If
Okay.
you see, I call them
how to input data.
I call them conditional or decision statements. Conditional or decision statements. You understand?
Yes.
Because you use them to make decisions. So I'm going to say if the price of the ball, because that is what we said. Oh, sorry. If ball price, ball, I call it ball underscore price, right? If ball underscore price, this is, I'm going to do it the first time. If ball underscore price is less than 500, do you agree with me?
Yes.
That is what we said. So now, based on what we said, we are saying that if the price is less than 500 or the color of the ball is brown, then buy. So what am I going to say? Oh, are you there? Ball color.
Yes. Underscore brown.
What am I saying? Ball color. What am I spelling? How am I spelling color? Okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, oh, ball color. Now, you guys have to pay close attention to all the operations the operators have been showing you. You have to pay close attention. So look at what I'm going to do here. I'm going to say, since I'm saying if the ball price is less than 500, that is what we said. Here,
Yes.
that was the agreement. And I'm saying, or the ball color, look at what I'm going to do here. Or the ball color equal to, because it is supposed to be brown. We did not say it's less than brown or greater than, there's no way you can say less than or equals to brown, right? Or
Okay.
equal brown. Why I'm writing it in inverted commas because it's a string. Is that clear?
Yes.
So you see, it must be brown. And that's why I'm using the equality. Is that clear?
Yes.
So now, how do you write this statement? You start by using the word if, then the first condition, the second condition. If you have two conditions, you can have 10 conditions. And you can now join them either with an or an and based on what you're saying. But in this scenario, we are using the or operator. Is that clear?
Yes.
So once I've evaluated all my conditions, the first condition is price less than 500, and the second condition is that the color should be
Ball
brown.
color is brown.
Yes. I'm going to put a column at the end of that statement. Please, you cannot omit that column. It's not a choice. You cannot tell me that, oh, I chose not to put my own column. You understand? You must put the column. I'm going to explicitly put some space here so that you can see what is happening here. So now, once I put the column, look at what is going to happen. Please pay close attention to what's going to happen. Once I hit enter, look at what's going to happen. Once I hit enter, if you notice, my cursor did not come and start here. Look at this, it leaves a gap here.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Yes.
It leaves a gap. It did not come right to the beginning to start. Every other thing starts from here. But then the moment I hit the enter button, I hit enter here, my cursor comes and starts somewhere. This is called an indentation. This is called an indentation. And these indentations are very, very, very important. Why are they important? They indicate that everything that is going to come after this within that is indented. So if I have anything that is now coming from here like this, it falls under this if statement. Do you understand?
Yes.
And any other thing that does not fall under this if statement should come out and start back from the beginning outside here. Is that okay? So let's see how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me clear this one. All right. So I'm going to come back here. And so I'm going to do this. So I'm going to hit, my cell is now indented, and I understand. And I know that what is going to happen is that anything, if this, okay, now let me write what I'm going to write first before I explain, so that it's going to make a lot of sense. So I'm just going to say print, I'm just going to say print by the board, because that's what is going to happen. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Because we said if the price is less than 500 and the ball color is brown, then the child should buy the ball. Is that true? So let's see.
Yes.
Let's see what is going to happen. So I'm going to execute this cell. So it's going to ask me, what is the price of the ball? I'm going to say, let me see. Where should I start with? Should I start with true, or I should start with true, false?
True,
Which one?
true.
Okay, true. So the price of the ball is going to be less than 500. So I'm going to give 400. 400. And then the next one is going to ask me what is the color of the brown, so I'm going to explicitly
Brown.
give it brown. And then when I execute it, it says buy the ball.
Buy the ball.
So now this is what is happening here, please. That is why I was telling you guys that the output of your conditional evaluation is very important. You need to understand what output you will get. Now, this will only work if this total output here evaluates to true.
Okay.
And that is why I started telling you that you need to know what will happen if a statement is true and another statement is false. You use an or an and statement. You need to know what is going to be our output. So what I'm saying is that what is in the body of this if, what is within this indentation, what is within this indented space here. If there are 1,000 things to be done here, we can do 1,000 things. I can say print, for example, I'm going home with a ball. I can do 1,000 things, you understand, right? Just as long as that condition evaluates to true and I'm within the body of the loop, keep seeing what is going to happen. So another thing I can do is I can say print we will be happy to play football. There are a lot of things that can happen. Just imagine you were evaluating this condition, and this condition is actually going to, you're writing a code that is going to evaluate a condition. And if that condition evaluates to true, something should happen. And if that condition does not evaluate to true, then that thing should not happen. Let's keep it there at this level, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's go again. So all of these should happen if all of these conditions are met. So I already know condition 1 true. So I'm going to run this again. I told you people about the star the other day. You see, the moment that my execution is not complete, it's showing me a star that I'm still running. So I hope you can see that this way. So I'm going to say, what is the price of the ball? So we go again for 100.
100.
What is the color of the ball? Brown.
Brown.
And so let's see, will it do everything that we asked it to do? Yes. Buy the ball. I'm going home with the ball. We will be happy to play football. Now, can we run this and see what is going to happen if one of these is not met? Since we are using an or, that means if any of these statements evaluates to true, the output is going to be true because we are using or. So let's see that. So I'm going to put 400. That means the output is going to evaluate to true. That output, that first one is going to evaluate to true. And then I'm going to give the color of the
Change the
ball as
color.
green. Yes, I'm
Okay.
going to give it as green. And once I run it, this still happens. Why is it still happening? Because we said for the OR operator, if any of the statements is true, the
True.
total output evaluates to true. And that is why this is still working, because according to this evaluation, this is going to be true. Do you
Okay.
understand?
Yes, understood. Meaning that if we were to use and, it means that all the conditions must be met.
Yes.
True, true. And if not true, true, then the answer will be false.
Exactly, that's correct. And so because you've asked, now we can switch to and. But then I'm going to relate that with the equation too, because that will mean we have to also re-explain that question. The assignment that you were giving the child, because we wrote this logic based on the assignment you gave the child. Now,
Yes.
assuming that this was not what you told the child, what you told the child is that the price of the ball must be less than 500 and the color of the ball must be true, must be brown.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? The price must
Yes.
be less than 500 and the color, that means the child must buy a brown ball that costs less than 500. You cannot bring a green ball. Even if the price is one franc, you cannot buy it. And you cannot buy any ball that the price is 500.0001. No, we don't want. And so we're going to explicitly change our operator to and then we're going to re-execute that again. I'm going to execute that again, and I'm going to say 400. And then that is true because that is less than 500. But then I'm going to say green. And nothing happens. Did you see any of these?
Yes, nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened. The child did not buy the ball. The child went home with no ball. He did not play football.
Okay.
So let's evaluate it and see when both cases evaluate to true. I'm going to run it again, and I'm going to say 400, or I can even say 300, so that people don't think I'm only saying 400 because I have a friend with 400. I can use 300, okay? And I'm going to say brown. Now, once I run this, because I'm using and everything evaluates to true, that is the only condition under which this is going to happen. Is it clear?
Yes.
So in this statement, you have learned the if conditional operator. We have only used if here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and now do another thing. Wait, well, how much time do we still have? Yes, we still have some more time. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do another thing, slightly different now. Now, still in the line of our conversation, right, Madam Constance?
Yes.
Maybe
Prof.
you wanted, the child, you wanted the child to, okay. The first thing was in mind, if the ball does not meet any of our conditions, the child then asks you, Mama, so what should I do with the money?
Okay.
So if I don't see a brown ball and and the price is not less than 500, Mama, what should I then do with the money? You can say, just buy onions, right? So how do we tell the condition? How do we write a condition that then tells the child that, okay, if you do not see if any of these conditions above are not met, buy onion? Because we have not seen that here. We just see that once the condition is not met, the child remains with the money, right? Because nothing happens. So what is going to happen in that case then? How do you bring in that next statement that if any of these do not work, then buy onion? Let me show you that. That is where another statement. Look at what is going to happen here. Please pay close attention. I'm going to move away from this indentation because I'm going out of this if body. Because this should only happen when this if is true.
Okay.
So I'm going to move away. And you see I've moved away. And I'm going to add a statement called else. And once I do else, I still have to put this column. It is not a choice. It's not, you are not saying that today I decided that I will not put that column in. Me, I don't like it. It's not up to you to decide whether you are putting it or not. You must put it. That is the syntax. And once you finish, look at what is going to happen again. I'm going to hit enter. And now it enters another indentation that now belongs to the body of the else.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Assuming you give the child 400 and then the child goes and all the conditions are not met, then you tell the child, print buy, oh, sorry. Now I'm just being crazy now. I'm just saying buy onions for 200. 200 and then print, what is going to happen? Buy tomatoes. Tomatoes. How does this spell that thing? Is it like this? Oh, is that an E?
Okay.
Buy tomatoes
Yeah.
for 200. You got me, right? So now, this is what is going to happen when you tell the child, hey, if you cannot get the ball that we are looking for, then buy tomatoes for 200 and buy onions for 200. So let's see what is going to happen. So the child gets to the buyer, hey, mom, what is the price of your ball? She says, my ball costs 500. And then she says, what is the color of your ball? He says, my ball is brown. And then the child is waiting to see whether I will buy onion or I'll go home with the ball. Let's see what is going to happen. He says, onions for 200, buy tomatoes for 200, meaning we are not buying any ball. Why is it so?
Okay.
Because we are using
Because the price is not easy.
yeah, and the price is not less than 500.
Okay.
So what you've learned again, in addition to what I told you before, is the if is the else statement that is added to the if. And so we're going to call that the if else statement. If else. Is that clear?
Yes.
If else. So if evaluates for the first condition, and then there is nothing will happen in case the condition evaluates to false. But then you come in with an else, which says if it evaluates to false, then do this. Okay, now let's see something. We want to think of another condition now. We want to add another condition now because that one going to come in with something a little slightly different. Okay, so let's modify the condition we are sending the child to the market with. Okay, now we are saying that if the ball is less than 500, right?
Yes.
And the color is not brown, right?
Yes.
But the color is green. We want to add another condition there now. Are you seeing? Oh no, let me not do that one. So let me see another condition. Okay, we're gonna add another condition and we're gonna call it the size of the ball. I know balls comes in size. So we're gonna say, and the size of the ball is 5 or 4. Because I normally know when we used to play football, they used to say size 5, size 4, size 3, right? Something like that. And so we are gonna say, okay, if the ball is not brown and the price is not less than 500, but the size of the ball is size 5, then buy the ball.
Okay.
So how do we now do this second one now again? But the child first of all have to make sure that the ball is not brown and the color and the price is not less than 500 before the child goes to check the price, the size. You understand? So you must make sure that you had the ball was not brown and the price was not less than 500 before now you then check, okay, now since this ball is not brown and the price is not less than 500, what is the size then? You get it?
Okay. Yes.
How do we go about it? Okay, now this is when it's gonna happen. Okay. I'm gonna copy the same thing. We're just gonna be tweaking this one. We're gonna leave the onion part, okay? So let me just use one better, shoot 2 stones. We're gonna leave the onion part. So I'm gonna hit enter here. Again, I'm going to leave the body of my if because I'm still at the level of my if. So I'm gonna leave the body of my if. And be very careful. Look at where I'm putting this next statement. I'm gonna use this statement. It's called else if. Else if they just write it elif.
Congratulations. Elif means that one. Which people have done this one?
It's called elif. And so if it is elif, then you have elif takes a condition. You understand what I'm saying? Elif takes a condition. And so I'm going to add a variable here called ball size equals to input. I'll take it as a, can I take it as an integer? Yes, I'll take it as an integer because it's normally supposed to be an integer here. So I'm gonna ask the seller what is the size of the ball. What is the size of the ball, right? And then I'm gonna take this as a number. That's what I mean by an integer. So people should not be looking at me and say, what is this man saying here? Okay, so we have another thing that says ball size. So now, if you come and you realize that price, not what you want, color, not what you want, then check the size. So we're gonna say elif ball. What did I put it? Ball size. Okay, ball size. Ball size. Ball size. And then this time around, I'm gonna use equal 5. Okay. Equal 5. Then I'm going to put my another column again because this one is still, like I said, it's not your choice. And then we're going to say print. Oh, sorry. Print. Oh, what we're going to do is buy the ball.
We need the onion and tomato.
So you see. So now we've evaluated all of these. Now let's see what's going to happen. Okay. Are you still with me?
Okay. Yes, I'm with you.
So this is what is going to happen now. So I'm going to evaluate this line of code. I'm going to run this. So what is the price of the ball? I'm going to give the price of the ball this time around is going to be 600. That's how much I'm selling my ball. And what is the color of the ball? My ball is blue. I don't have a brown ball. And then the child is now going to ask, what is the size of the ball? Let's say, I'll just say the size of the ball is 5. And then let's see what is going to happen. The child is going to buy the ball.
Okay.
Why? Because even though these evaluated to false, there was another condition here to evaluate. And anything under this condition will only happen if this condition evaluates to true.
Okay.
And Now, the last and most important thing that I'm going to say here, because let me illustrate it before I say it, because you have to be very conscious of that fact. You have to be very conscious of that fact, the positioning of these statements. I'm going to run this again, and then I give everything false, 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 false. So I'm going to see the price of the ball is 600, and if that evaluates with false, I'm going to say I have a blue ball or anything. Blue, and then I'm going to say the size is 4, and then I'm going to evaluate. The choice says onion for 200, buy tomatoes for 200. Now, this is what is going to happen. Please pay close attention to what I'm saying here. It is not your choice to put the if statement first. It is always going to be first. You cannot start with elif.
Okay.
And else is always going to be the last thing. You can have 5,000 elifs in between an if and an else statement.
Okay.
Did you hear what I said? You can have 50
Yes.
as many elifs as you want. You can have as many elifs as you want, but if is always going to come first and else is always going to come last. I always call else render of last resort. Else will be if everything has gone wrong. If everything above is off, then just do this one. Maybe you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it resembles the if condition in Excel. Microsoft Excel. It's almost the same thing.
It's good that you're relating to that one. I'm liking that statement. I'm liking what you're saying. So now, okay. Where are we? Let me come up to the cost guideline to be sure that we have all of these are going to remain the same. Nested, elif, I'm telling you, you can have as many elif else. You can have as many. If you can even do another evaluation now. You can do another, let me just show one case of nested, right? Okay. So, I'm just being crazy, okay? I want to show a case of nested, okay? Are you with me?
Okay. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I just want to show a case of nested. So, I'll just call a variable called POM. Like, you want to ask the seller if the seller has a POM, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to say input. And I'm going to ask the seller, do you have a POM? Right?
Okay.
You understand? I'm going to ask the seller if the seller has a POM. Now, my condition is going to be that if the color of the ball is not brown, and the size and the price is not less than 500, but the size is 5, you have to confirm if the seller has a POM before you buy the ball.
Okay.
You only confirm if the seller has a POM if the size of the ball is what? 5.
It's 5.
Let's see what is going to happen. I want to illustrate a case of nested, okay? So now this is what is going to happen. So this is what is going to happen. So please be very, very attentive. I'm going to cut this because I'm going to use it. So now I want to evaluate. They say, okay, that's what my mother said, that if I'm now actually buying this ball based on size, then I have to confirm that the seller has a POM. You understand? So I'm going to do if
Yes.
POM. Now, after I confirm that the size is 5, I have to confirm. Look at the, have you noticed that this if now comes under elif and it's an indentation under elif. Can you see that? So I'm going to say if POM.
Okay, meaning that it is linked to the elif condition.
Exactly. That is what we call nested. So I'm going to say if POM is equals to yes, then by then I'm going to just paste what I copied. Then you buy the ball. But if the seller says I do not have a POM, don't waste your time. buy a size 4 ball because we cannot pump size 5 with our mouth. You understand?
Yes.
To look at the nested. Now look at the indentation. This indentation is not by choice. Look, leaf has an indentation, and because this is also a condition that is evaluating on its own, it also has its own indentation. This is the concept of nested. And you can even have as another if else under this nested. This if can have another elif. So you can nest and nest and nest based on your condition. Please, it's not limited, but just make sure you respect everything as it's supposed to be and don't go and write logic that will fail you. So let's see what is going to happen. We are still staying with the, oh, something is wrong somewhere. Oh, I said it. You see, I had an error because instead of using double equals to, what did I do? I used 1. Did you
Use
see?
1. Yes.
Okay. And people
Okay.
are now seeing where the error is coming from now. So, Madam selling ball. What is the price of your ball, Madam? What is the color of your ball? Blue. Oh, bad market. Then they say, what is the size of your ball? Then the
5.
madam says 5. Okay, and then he's gonna ask, do you have a palm? Because you have size 5, so you want to give us size 5 to go and blow it with our mouth, or to inflate the ball with our mouth? Ah, no, madam, do you have a palm? Let's see. Let's assume madam said yes. I have a palm. So is that child going to buy the ball or not?
The child is going to buy the ball
Let's see.
because the pump
Buy
is
the ball.
available.
The child buys the ball. But then let's see a situation whereby madam did not have palm and told the child that, hey, I design a ball, they might not say palm. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say 600. My brain is now filling. What am I gonna say? Is the color now, Nabi? It's blue.
The color
So, what is the size of the ball? Okay, it's normally size 5, but do you have
5.
a pump? No, I don't have a pump.
No.
Why is it not evaluating? Because this is supposed to be I wanted to see if the child was gonna buy onions, right? So
Okay.
it's gonna be here. So let's see again. Oh, something is wrong somewhere. Oh, here. These guys. Oh, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do this, hit enter. Then I'm gonna shift this one to align with that. Oh, got you. I think
If you are not closing the F condition with else, there has to be an else at the end of the whole
you can leave
condition.
this if without closing it, right? We must not always close. I was just looking at why this one did not work, but it was supposed to work because no. Let me see. Let me just see whether this is gonna. Let me just run it and see something. I'm gonna do what is gonna happen. 600. What is gonna happen? Blue. Okay. What is gonna happen? What's the size of the ball? I'm gonna say 5, but do we have a palm? No. Then let me see. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Awesome. But then you can also leave. You must not always. The thing is, you must always have an if before you have an else. But you can have an if without an else. You get that, best man?
Okay.
We can have an if,
Yes.
but it's always good to have an else.
Without an
That
S. Yes.
I always say
Yes.
is the render of last resort. Because you can always say, okay, if everything has gone jakwa, then you just have to go this way. But this is what I was looking for. So let me explain what has happened here. And so we now looking at evaluating this, and we're saying that, okay, finally, you had none of the condition was met. You understand? And then the child ends up going home with onions and tomatoes, right? And this was like
Okay.
a concept of nested. I just show you that this is the nested aspect of what I'm saying. So we started with an if, but now you are seeing another if, within an elif and things like that, right? You could have even
Yes.
studied from here. It's all up to you, okay? You would have nested it from here. But notice that if you nested it from here, it only happens when this one is true. And if this one even evaluates to true, anything here will not work. It will skip and come down here. Right?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. That has been a long example. Now let's open the doors for questions. I know a lot of persons are now looking at me and saying I'm completely lost. Let me start with Madame Prudence. Madame Prudence.
Yes, what
Do
do you
you feel
mean?
like giving up?
I did not even get anything, and my network was bad.
Oh, damn.
I went off completely for the past 39 minutes.
Okay, you're always gonna refer back to the recordings, okay? Luckily for this one, I recorded this class. I always forget to record. But I'm sure I'm recording, right? I'm recording, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, please. I should not be shouting like this when I'm not. Mr. Kifa. Oh, Dr. Kifa. Anyway. Did you feel like giving up somewhere?
No, we're trying to follow up.
Yeah, so you think your brain is still in line.
Yeah.
Best man, tell them something that they did not understand.
Yes, I think in using this if condition, in the elif, we said ball size equals to 5. We assign the value to it.
Yes.
But that thing can return if it's true. So if the ball size, you can use a boolean for that. It has this implied boolean in it. So if you say elif ball size, or if you say elif ball size and it's a condition and it returns true, it will still print out what it's supposed to print out. So this elif sometimes they can come with an embedded boolean that will return if it's true and false otherwise. I don't know that how to explain it. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I get
Like
what you're saying.
okay.
So what he's essentially saying is that you can do this evaluation based on the Boolean, which which we have already agreed, right? We have already agreed from the onset. We said the output of an operation is Boolean. That's true, right? We already said that thing, right? Over here. Madam Constance. Shebi, we said that, right? Are you there?
Yes. True
We said
or
that the
false?
output of these operations are Booleans, right?
Yes.
And so once you're doing your evaluation, you should know that the output of that evaluation, if you're using operators, is going to be Boolean. And so
Okay.
once if the Boolean is true, then your condition gets evaluated. And if the Boolean returns false, then your condition is not going to happen, right?
Yes.
Thank you for that, best man. Do we have another input from somebody or another question, or somebody is just sitting somewhere with tears in his or her eyes? Please, let's save you. I don't know. Elisha is, I don't know if it's male or female, please bear with me. Elisha, if you can unmute yourself and pour all your worries, we will be happy to help you. We are listening. I assume you are talking, but I can't hear you. Is anyone hearing him or her? Because I can't hear anything.
No.
I hear from my end.
You can hear from your end?
No, I'm not getting
Oh.
a.
So apparently her mic is not the best.
Yes, I can get from my end.
Okay, Elisha, is that you talking now? I think it's a male. I could see the mic moving. Okay. I think somebody left us a chat. I think that should possibly be coming. I cannot get from my end. That was you. We were talking to Mr. Elisha. Mr. or Mrs. Elisha, we were talking to you. So I don't know. We were asking if you could come down and tell us all those your worries. But I guess something is some technical issues on your end. Madame Vandeline, I can get from my end, and I am on the same page as you are. Okay, awesome. It's good to know that you're on the same page with us. That's great. That's what we're asking to know. So, Madam, I think she came in. Vandeline, please, can you ask us all those your strong questions that you had in your mind?
I have been out of class since around the network had gone off. It keeps going and coming. It keeps taking me out of class and in.
the question.
So
It's a sad situation.
since when we were still buying the brown ball up, after that, I've been out since.
Okay. Please do well to refer to the recordings, and if you have any question, please do well to ask me. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, guys. Any other worries? Any other challenges? Okay, I'm going to keep the class here for today. I don't want to give you guys so much so that you don't get to forget. I'm going to leave loops. Okay, I'm going to keep loops aside. We're going to treat loops tomorrow before we move ahead, okay? Is that okay? And so
It's okay,
on
thank you.
Thursday.
oh yeah, that was on
Okay.
Thursday. Thank you for that correction. I keep forgetting. It's because the other batch I do them today, tomorrow. Like I do today and tomorrow, and most of the times I'm like, okay, today, tomorrow. I mean, no, it's on Thursday, please. And I urge all of you to practice. I've said this time with our numbers. If you do not practice this thing, best man tell them if they don't practice writing this code, they will forget it.
Yes, it's very essential you practice. I'm still learning and still practicing and still forgetting. And
Yeah,
it's going to
even me,
become
I
so.
forget. Most of the time, you see me rush to the internet to go and look for something because if you don't do it every day, I swear, we will finish this thing like this. You come back here on Thursday, you'll be as blank as you came today. Please.
Wow.
That's the
Try our
only.
best to practice. Just from what I've seen, yeah, I know that if I don't practice, I'll forget.
Yeah, so please keep practicing. Write the wrong code. The best thing is when you even write the wrong code and then you finally correct it. That's where you find your way around. But if you keep writing the correct code, you will not even know how to troubleshoot, because one of the things you will spend your time doing when you actually get to the job, like there are days I go to work and I actually don't do anything. My code is not working. I spend the whole day looking for where the trouble is coming from. Trust me, it's called troubleshooting. If you don't know how to write wrong code and then look for where the error is coming from, trust me, you're going to be in deep shit. And you cannot know how to troubleshoot code if you did not even write a wrong code in the first place. And you cannot write a wrong code if you did not start writing in the first place. So, okay. Thank you very much for today. See you on Thursday. Please, when coming, bring me bonbon. Bye-bye.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.